acknowledging the fact that it is 2 months after the untimely death of our national legend and icon, the founding leader of the party, President Richard Morgan Tsvangirai. Notwithstanding, comrades, the sad loss of our comrade, whom obviously as a country we continue to mourn to this very day, the party remains a very strong and formidable party, a unit that is ready for the watershed polls. In fact, the party is growing stronger. The party is energizing its base. The party is clearly the people's party. It is the only game in town, of course, in the context of the MDC alliance. As a party, we are a solid family of democrats that is growing stronger by the day. Our footprints are all over in the entire country. We are sticklers to constitutionalism and the rule of law. We are also game changers, the movers and the shakers for 2018. We acknowledge that as a social democratic party, eschewing the values of empathy, solidarity, justice, and freedom, we are the only available alternative to the current politics of failure, as espoused by the politics of Idi Mnangagwa and his government. On the national scale, I've traveled across the whole country. I've been to Matebele, I've been to Mashonaland, I've been to Midlands and Masingo, as well as Manika. I remain touched by the sorry situation people find themselves. Cash shortages persist. Citizens are finding it hard to access their hard-earned education, particularly those who are employed. Teachers are suffering, doctors are suffering, journalists are suffering. Our soldiers and our police are in difficult circumstances. Unemployment continues to play huge havoc for the people who are unemployed. Most of the young people have one aspiration, that is to have a decent living and decent wage. That aspiration can only be articulated when we form, and I'm not saying if, but when we form the next government come this election. And we have no doubt that this election is for us to lose. Civil servants, particularly the doctors and nurses, are struggling to survive. They are getting peanuts and paltry resources in the context of their survival. This national crisis continues to affect each and every sector of our society. And as a new government, it is one thing we are going to truly respond to, particularly in the context of our people. I've seen that in the rural areas we also have fundamental problems. People are being frog-marched into meetings. Serial numbers are being recorded. I receive complaints from chiefs who are being abused under the sway and swithering heat of politics. I also continue to receive reports of citizens in the villages and on the farms who are not allowed and permitted to exercise their fundamental freedoms. It is an issue, a fundamental issue, because it flies in the face of what we fought for. It flies in the face of our independence, particularly in the context of the independence march. It makes the independence hollow, and it reduces our independence to being a paper independence, instead of it being independence that is characterizing the fundamental freedoms being respected and honored. In that context, as a party, we are rebranding and redefining the narrative. And we are saying, because we're a Pan-African formidable formation whose broad mandate is to complete the unfinished business of the liberation struggle, our duty is to make sure that we safeguard the gains of the liberation struggle as a post-liberation movement, steeped in democratization, rule of law, and of course also deepening that which we are supposed to deepen, people's liberty. In line with our character as a proud African movement, we have declared April an Independence Month. Quite from the traditional practice of having an Independence Day, we feel that we need a month of festivities, activities, and programs that punctuate the veneration of our liberation struggle. Our patriotic sons, daughters, who pay the ultimate sacrifice. We are the legatees of this revolution, the beneficiaries of this revolution. And we must make sure that this revolution is safeguarded. We feel that the revolution has been changed halfway, it has been hijacked, and it has been betrayed in some circumstances by those who have forgotten what we fought for, because they learned nothing and forgot nothing about the Rhodesian regime. Because April is going to be a very important month, an Independence Month, even in a new dispensation. When we then form a new government, we will then dedicate April to being an Independence Month across the whole country, rotating the holding of national events in the various capitals, in the various provinces, in the various districts, so that it is truly national, it is truly inclusive, as a way of honoring our forefathers and foremothers, our forebears. But we also insist that even as we are going to participate in the Independence Day celebration, our participation is predicated on an inclusive program that should not be dominated by any single party, but that is inclusive in programming, in activities, in invitations, and also in all the activities that are around it. As I've already said, this whole month we are going to be dedicating various days and activities. We are going to have series, lecture series around the liberation struggle and independence. We are going to be making important visits to liberation icons, just to reconnect with the ethos, values, and purpose, objects of our independence. Let me turn to election preparedness. You are aware that we're 3 months away from an election. It's a very crucial election, a watershed election. Your election, our election, a people's election. And we must be able to choose a leadership that belongs to the people. We're not going to allow a repeat of the 2013. The cheating of people, the national deception of the people will not be allowed. It is within that context that the party has shown that it remains a nationally strong party. We have so far received CVs from various aspiring candidates, a total of over 4,000 candidates who are willing to participate and represent the party at both parliamentary and local government level. Our preparations are well on course, and in the next few weeks, a complete panel of candidates is going to be released once we have completed our internal processes of vetting. Currently, our security department and the various organs of the party, the National Election Directorate included, are dealing with the vetting of the CVs, so that those CVs are then sent back for those who have qualified for a full-scale, inclusive, democratic process that will allow popular candidates, credible candidates who are useful, in some cases youthful, in some cases mature, experienced, to then be subjected to the democratic test of the party. We are a democratic party, a party steeped in constitutionalism. And of course, the constitution of the party is important, as well as the constitution of the country. We are determined to make sure that the aspirational 50% threshold of the women or female candidates is met. So we have encouraged all our structures to say we want to see more women, female candidates in the various constituencies. In constituencies where women are already candidates as sitting members of parliament or sitting councillors, would prefer a woman candidate to contest in a democratic contest. Of course, we've also set aside a 20% youth quota in line with the constitution and the resolutions of the supreme organs of the party. So you're going to see more young people playing their role. And we are very happy that even ZANU-PF are beginning to also covet in terms of understanding that we need an inclusive process. Both the experienced and the young candidates have to be given a chance as Zimbabweans. Let me turn to the issue of electoral reforms. As you are aware, last month we launched our plan and environment for a credible election peace document, which are the 10 key peace demands. In this, we address what we call fundamental and important electoral reforms that are supposed to be put in place. It is a traverse of justice, ladies and gentlemen, that 3 months away from the campaigning of full-scale election, we do not have a fully defined timetable to an election. The election date is not known to the nation. It is only known to Mr. Mnangagwa and a few of his friends. That is against the holding of a free and fair election. In normal jurisdictions, people should know by now that an election is going to be held on such and such a day. But that is not the case. And that attests to the fundamental problem we have in the context of these elections. Ladies and gentlemen, let me indicate to you that in our 10 demands, the first demand that we are insisting on is the independence of the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, including the independence in the professional people who should save the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission. By ZEC's own admission, you know that there was a confirmation by ZEC that almost 15% of people in ZEC at the secretariat level are actually from the military, either retired or saved. That has to be investigated. We also want the voters form to be subjected to a biometric audit and signed off by all the stakeholders. Currently, that is not the case. We want to make sure that our military is not abused to be involved in the electoral issues in the country, so that we focus on campaigns as a political affair. The issue of the diaspora vote is also important. We also are interested, particularly in this very important issue, the issue of the printing of ballot papers. We are not going to accept an election where the printing of ballot papers is done as a secret affair or as a unitary or solitary affair by the incumbent. That will not be, and that will not be accepted. We are in the process, ladies and gentlemen, of making sure that we deal with all these fundamental issues, including the issue of violence, intimidation, particularly in the rural areas, which seems to be rampant and on the increase. Let me conclude by saying we have launched our Road to Victory, which is a Tuesday program to give Zimbabweans what our take is on the national situation. As a party, we are on the road. This weekend we are in Lawe at the White City Stadium, continue our campaigns, and after the White City Stadium, we are going full throttle, countrywide, door to door, street by street, farm by farm, speaking to people, convincing Zimbabweans, providing a shelter to everyone, including the G40, and those who are homeless. We are a good home for all those who have been deprived of their shelter, because we are a people's party and we are a part of excellence. Like I said, we have rebranded, we have revamped this movement, and we will continue to do so. So in the next few weeks, we are going to be launching our policy program, which is the New Zimbabwe Plan, or the New Zimbabwe Blueprint, in the context of the Alliance, together with our Alliance partners. We've done it before, and we'll do it again. Zimbabweans should not doubt the MDC. The MDC of today is the MDC bigger than the MDC of 99. The MDC better than the MDC of 99. We have the capacity to govern. You are aware of our competence in the inclusive government. We showed what we are made of. We showed our flair, but that was just a drop in the ocean of our capacities. With our competent hands and our clean hands, a willing heart, the future can only be bright for the people of Zimbabwe. The party is ready, the alliance is ready, Zimbabweans are ready, and we continue to show that Zimbabweans are indeed ready by the attendance you have at various levels. But not only that, even our own mechanisms, which is ward-based in the various local structures, our branches, of all the 16,000 branches we have across the whole country, the party is in full life and dynamic. We are truly on the road to victory. Thank you.
Question to the chair. If you can share the detail of why you requested President Mnangagwa.
Thank you very much indeed. We wrote to President Mnangagwa. The reason why we wrote to President Mnangagwa is that we've said we are marking a new dispensation, not on paper but in practice. There has to be an understanding between the governing party and the government in waiting. We are the government in waiting. President Mnangagwa is the current president. We need him to understand that the opposition does not mean a threat to the interests of the country. So the discourse and discussions around how we are going to move forward is something that we need to be very clear about. The terms of our engagement, particularly as we go into the election, but also as we transact politics in the country. We do not want politics of the old, politics of hatred, insults, politics of antagonism and acrimony. We need politics, new politics, of working for Zimbabwe, putting the country first. And that entails people having dialogue. The independence was about dialogue. We fought for the liberation of our country together. We liberated our country together. We must develop our country together. We can't start to be divided as a people when we have been united in the past for a collective objective. So that is the context.
When you sent the letter and have you gotten a response yet?
Well, of course, those are details, but we did send a letter, and that letter has been responded to by indication of the fact that the letter has been received. So we are awaiting the date, and once the date is there, we are ready. But also time is running out. I mean, if he's not available, if he's too busy for us, we also are likely to choose to be too busy for him.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes.
Yes, Advocate Chamisa, you made mention of the fact that ZEC openly admitted that it has within its ranks 7 members of the military.
About 15%.
But what I recall from their last appearance in Parliament, the chair disputed that. She says former 7 members of the military. And you said that must not be the case. What should happen to former members of the military? Should they not be employed anywhere else in the government?
They should be employed, it is their right, but we say there has to be chlorination of the ZEC secretariat. There are other people, apart from those who served once in the military, there are others who are also from spooky organizations. And we want these ones to be smoked out because they contaminate the integrity of the ZEC secretariat.
So as it stands, do you have details of those people who are still within the ranks, who are serving from the military, who are in the employee of ZEC?
We are not in the business of blowing hot air. We have facts and figures. And this is why we are engaging ZEC, to give them the facts, to say, this must be resolved. It does not inspire confidence.
Would you care to share the names?
If you are part of ZEC, we will share with you. But of course, we are going to engage ZEC and we'll give them those details. You will get them as members of the public, if they are willing to share with you. But we have done a forensic audit of who is who in the ZEC secretariat. Our chairperson of the election directorate, chairperson committee, has been responsible to say who does what in the ZEC secretariat, what is their background. And most of those people are of dubious credentials. Apart from those who served the former, which is not an issue, but dubious credentials. And we must be able to deal with that one.
Thank you. 2 issues, Advocate Chamisa. You said you have been around the country. Would you care to probably tell us if you have noticed the presence of the military in the various provinces that you have visited? Because there have been reports that the army has been deployed and up to 5,000 members of the military have been deployed. And also the issue of electoral reform. There's been reports that the MDC alliance has made agreements or has come to an understanding with ZANU-PF and particularly the MDCT, the MDC led by Professor Wolfman and ZANU-PF represented in Parliament. They've come to an agreement and written to ZEC amendment to the Electoral Act. Are you part of this? Can you confirm this? And are you happy with the amendment that you have forwarded to government for repealing the electoral act?
Correct. I've been across the whole country, and I can confirm to you that we are receiving reports of people who are probably masquerading as people from the army. Most of them are under what is called the champion farmers. Some are called the commissars. And we are in the process of compiling the names and lists of those individuals. They are stationed in the villages. Some are even in the rural areas under the auspices of the agri-tax officers. And they are known in the communities, in my central, in Marches, across the whole country, in all the over 1,958 wards. You always have somebody who is doing the coordination. And it is incumbent upon the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission to make sure that this is dealt with. So yes, this is the people who are reporting that they are called boys on leave. And we want to know why they are in the villages, because they are now coordinating serial numbers. They are coordinating and marshalling traditional leaders and crowheads into that process of collecting people's serial numbers, which is in effect a constitutional violation. You can't ask for any of the information that has to do with the electoral voter. It has to be secret because it belongs to an individual. So it's a big issue, and we've taken it as one of our key 10 demands that we want to be dealt with. What is surprising is that President Mnangagwa has not said anything about the abuse of people in the villages. He is aware of it. We've brought it to his attention, but he has not responded to it. And this is what worries us, that a whole president is aware of the violations that are taking place. He's a lawyer himself, but he has not uttered a word. The only thing he has told us is that Zimbabwe is open for business. But why does he not have an open government? Why should the government be open for business when it is not open in terms of political accountability, leadership accountability across the whole country? So you must also be aware that these same people who are across the whole country are telling people that we are going to repeat what we did in 2008. And people know what happened in 2008. Not only that, they are also saying that if Chamisa wins, all of you are going to be expelled. Traditional leaders, headmen, they are being victimized. And you must know that because it's a polling station-based voting, it's now polling station-based intimidation. It's now localized intimidation. And that's why it is a problem. And we're getting these reports from our people, including those in ZANU-PF, who are saying this is not fair play. Let people campaign freely. Because they are also not free to even campaign, because they are all being forced and coerced into certain things. So I hope I've answered you on that one. The issue of the reforms, yes, we have a tripartite within the context of the parties that are represented in Parliament. We've engaged the minister, but surprisingly, when we engaged the Minister of Justice on the fundamental reforms, Ziyambi said the issue of the ballots printing is a security issue, which confirms our anxieties. All the reforms we have said are supposed to be put in place, they have not taken them on board in terms of the alignment of the laws in Parliament. And it's a big issue we are taking. They have not adopted what we have recommended. And these guys are stubborn. But they're stubborn because they want to go back to their old ways of electoral skullduggery and cheating in the elections. Because that's the only route and avenue that they count on. They do not believe in the people. That's why they want to manipulate their will. Thank you.
Yes, next question. Yes.
Thank you. You said MDC is rebranded. Does it mean that you're in the T from the MDC? Are you going to change the name considering the fact that Chamisa MDC is also fighting for the same ground? What is the way forward actually? And also when you say you've rebranded, in what context?
Thank you very much. Chamisa MDC is not an MDC member. She is a former MDC member. She is an ex-MDC member. That she masquerades as MDC is none of our business. In fact, we are dealing with that because she should stop masquerading as MDCT. She has violated the statutes, precepts, and objects of the MDC Constitution by acting in an illegal and unconstitutional manner. And that is an issue we're already dealing with. So our rebranding entails rebranding in terms of the political texture and character of our engagement, not in the context of, we will not remove the MDCT, we are MDCT, and we can't rename ourselves any other way without violating the Constitution.
Yes.
Right, my neighbors, and long last advocate ndakufunza kuti kana kuti maforms aya muri kutaura nezvawo they are not met kana kuti hapana chabuda zvinoreva kuti chii kuelection July, August, are you going to contest or not with the reforms not having been?
Do you want me to respond in English or in short? Or in Devel?
Yeah, chingoita ine chishona nechirungu.
Thank you very much. It takes two to tango. ZANU-PF cannot tango alone. So if they choose not to respect the need for these reforms, there will not be an election in Zimbabwe. It's as simple as that.
I don't know if you can explain that there won't be an election in Zimbabwe.
Do you want me to explain further than telling you that there will not be an election?
Yes, that's
We
what
will not accept. We will not accept a drama of an election, a movie of an election. We want a real election, election that takes all Zimbabweans' confidence. It is not for ZANU-PF to define what an election is. It is for all of us as Zimbabweans. Like I told you, we fought for this country together, and we'll defend this country together. We will not allow one party to abuse people over and over again under our watch, because we are the people of Zimbabwe. This is not a partisan affair, it belongs to all of us. So, make no mistake about it. I've always said we are prepared to surrender ourselves before we surrender the people's will and the gains of the liberation struggle, which is one man, one vote, and the sovereign will of the people to define who their leader is.
Maybe I'm going to that advocate, but what do you mean by there won't be an election?
Do you want me to explain to you any further than that? Tatisu semusangano wevazhinji webato rinomirira ruzhinji rwemunyika muno kudarika mamwe mapato ese hatizobvuma nyaya yekuti munyemwe kunzi mune election munyika kana kuti sarudzo pasina sarudzo dzinoinda pachikero chatinowirirana ndo zvakarwira madzikoma edu nehanzvadzi dzedu vana baba vedu zvavakatamburira kuti kuve nekodzero dzevanhu kutsaro zhinji ndo zvinhu zvatoda kuti tidzokere pazviri izvo. So hatisi kuzobvuma nyaya yekuti kunonzi kunoitwa sarudzo dzisiri pamurawo unodikwa nemumbiro nemutemo kana zvinowirirana nevana vezimbabwe, kureva kuti tinoramba. Kana taramba hatirambi kupinda musarudzo, tinoramba kuti kuve nesarudzo. Ndanzwisisika neshona?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Asifuni bhola egangeni. Asifuni umbulu. Put simply, we will not accept nonsense. We want proper elections in this country. And it's not for ED to define that. It's not for any institution to say this is a free and fair election. It's for the people of Zimbabwe. And we are the people of Zimbabwe. That's why I told you that it takes two to tango.
Thank you, President. We will not accept a move of an election, a drama of an election. Another person?
It's a follow-up.
Yes, my sister.
It's a follow-up again. Maybe Rumoya can say something. How are you going to do it? Will you boycott the election?
We will not boycott an election. We can't boycott ourselves. We are the election. We are the people of Zimbabwe. How do we boycott ourselves? But we will say if we have not had reform, then we do not have elections. It's either free and fair elections or there is no election. It's very simple and straightforward.
Maybe in your mind it's simple and straightforward that
Do you want me to tell you how we are going to do it?
Yes, I think that's the...
I will not do that.
Well, I know if Karamata...
Isn't that, I'm telling you the what, but I'm not coming here because I will tell the supporters, who support us, and the people of Zimbabwe at the appropriate time.
Advocate, sorry.
Are we clear on that?
Yeah,
Sure.
We have institutions. We have the Zimbabwe Electoral Mother Body. You have no confidence in that institution. We have the judiciary. You have no confidence in that institution again. We have you are negotiating as political parties. You don't even have faith in the negotiation process that you are party to.
I'm not so sure where are you getting what you are saying.
I'm getting it from this premise. You are part of an engagement process right now as we speak.
Yes.
You say there is a tripartite negotiating forum of which you are party to.
Yeah.
Right? We have the electoral mother body, which is overall.
The Zimbabwe Electoral Commission.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, which presides over our elections and takes charge. Right now, there's a process that has been happening, which you are party to, and we have the judiciary, which, if there are any other grievances that will come from the election, you still have recourse to go and try and challenge. You will not approach those.
Let me just tell you, are you aware that President Tsvangirai challenged the election results in 2002?
Yes.
That judgment has not been out. That matter has not been
16
heard.
years later.
Yes.
Okay? Are you aware of that?
Yes, I was aware.
Yes. So those are the things we need to correct.
Mhm.
Once beaten, twice shy. We don't want to repeat the mistakes of yesterday. 2013, we challenged certain aspects in the court. The matters were never heard because of various technical issues and arguments that were raised. There are certain things that must be put first in terms of the context of the environment. Those issues have to be sorted out.
And given that there is 3 months now, Advocate Chamisa, there is 3 months, and you are indeed a big, if we are a party with a big following in the country, we don't want to cause anxiety to the people. We want you to come out in the open and tell us what are you going to do, given that upon your own admission.
The people know. We are going to be engaging the people. Don't worry about people. Those people we lead are not anxious.
We are part of those people.
Yes.
We are part of those people, and we have a duty to inform them.
Don't be anxious, Rodney. It's very important for you to hold your horses. Be cool and calm. We have said, let us have a proper election, or there is no election. And this is the message we are taking to any person who would want to listen to us. I've taken this message to the United Nations. I've taken this message to the European Union, to the African Union, to SADC. I will continue to take it to any person who cares to listen. We don't want anarchy in Zimbabwe, but we want order. And let that order be defined by the people of Zimbabwe. Gone are the days when one party would dictate to the people what Zimbabwe is. Zimbabwe is bigger than one party. ZANU-PF is not Zimbabwe, and Zimbabwe is not ZANU-PF. We are all Zimbabweans, and we will not allow the kind of tomfoolery that we have seen coming from ZANU-PF to continue. It must not continue. It's costing us. You and I have no opportunity because of the circumstances we are in. And we have no time to waste. Thank you.